I always hate this time. Good morning. I'm Beth Hldenbrand, and this is Booked Up with Beth. This morning we have the phenomenal R.E. Bunch with us, and she has an amazing announcement to make. So I am going to hand the show over and let her make this amazing announcement. Good morning, honey.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here, and I woke up to some fantastic news. I won first place at the Book Fest for Gothic Horror for my new book, Red Horn. I'm so excited.
Yes.
It's really been a labor of love getting it out here. I've always been interested in Gothic horror. It's been a passion of mine, and a lot of my books do fall within that category. And a lot of my work is inspired by nature and the supernatural and just general experiences I've had throughout my life. So Red Horn is really like the perfect blend of all of like my interests and passions into one little book. So I'm super excited to have one first.
Congratulations so much, so much, so much. And I read this book, and oh my God, it is so good. And wow, it is so good. And I love Gothic horror. I was saying my son a few years ago got to do a class on Gothic novels. And I was like, where was that when I was in high school? Hello.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
I loved lit class in high school. I was that nerd, who everybody cheated off of. But why didn't we have those fun things back then?
I really wish we did.
I all but took the class for him, of course. I was like, oh, the monkey's paw. Yes, yes, yes. Great book. Let's read that. And he's like, oh, Mom, this is so boring. But hey, Gothic novels are great. And so I totally loved Red Horn. It was fabulous. It was, right up my alley. And the characters, like I said, I wanted blood for what happened to Eddie. And that horror, I wanted that Cheyenne girl, I just wanted to wring her neck. I was so mad. I was sitting in the car waiting for my son, to come out of school. I was picking him up and I'm reading. And I was like yelling in my car. I'm sure the other parents were looking at me like I was crazy, but, they're used to that. Because yes, I'm the crazy mom. I am that mom. But yeah, I was like, oh, I don't like that girl. Yeah, I was totally just, because in the beginning of the story, you think, oh, she's the sad girl that everybody picks on. I'm not giving any more away. Yeah. That's as far as I'm going. I refuse. I hate spoilers. Oh, which I just probably did right there.
It's okay. You can't anticipate what's going to happen in that book. Yeah. Like, it is twisty and turny, and it really is like a deep dive into like that sort of like early adulthood experience and like really kind of figuring out like people wear multiple faces, people wear multiple masks, and sometimes you can't see it until it's like too late.
Yes, exactly. It was a very good book. It was spiritual in a way. It was very, like you said, nature. I loved Chief Black Cloud. Yeah. He was an excellent character. And Victor, the main character, I mean, I was that kid.
Yeah.
So he's so just totally relatable. At least to me, he was, totally relatable kid, hanging out, playing his guitar, just doing his thing. Him and Eddie, the best buddy, totally relatable characters for me and most of, my group in high school.
Yeah.
So yeah. And you just want to hug them.
Yeah. You want to hug him and make sure you're like, oh, buddy, it'll get better. I promise. You just got to make it to the next 5 minutes.
Yes, exactly. And little Sally, she's just a pip, You're like, you're not allowed to be that smart. Knock it off, okay? just stop reading. You never want to say that to somebody, but you think to this, just stop reading for 5 minutes. Okay. Go play outside, have some fun. But she's fantastic too. It was such a good book.
Thank you.
And like I said, I love it when I can get so wound up in the characters that I'm yelling.
Yeah.
And I did. You wrote a really excellent book.
Thank you.
Congratulations. It definitely deserved to win the prize that it won.
Aw, well, thank you. I like, as you're talking about, I'm like getting chills. And like, it's really like, because writing and reading are solitary events. Like, you don't really have like a crowd. It's not really like a group participation. So you're doing this and you're writing for other people, but honestly, you're your first audience. So you're writing and you're doing all this stuff in like private, and then you push it out into the world. And sometimes it's a little scary because you don't know how it's going to be received or what's going to happen necessarily. So it's always like, I don't know, I get chills and like I get a little like worked up just hearing other people like talk about my work and just like if they liked it, if they didn't like it, just either way. But then hearing them like just talk about it, I'm like, oh my God, somebody actually read it. Like it's like almost dreamlike.
Yes, I know exactly how you feel. It's a wonderful feeling. And I can't praise this book enough. Everybody needs to read this. I'm going to have to go back and read your other books. You won an award for your Sleeping Beauty.
Yes. So I won, so I've actually won a couple different awards. So I came in third place for my college's fall fiction for Sleeping Beauty. It's kind of like a reimagined tale. I believe it's still on their website. But it's really kind of fun. It's kind of like dark humor in a way. So so this couple, one of the female part of the couple gets sick, and she's not doing well, and he's like, oh, it'll be fine, and it becomes very unfine very quickly. So it's kind of like them experiencing the illness with their partner and then a miraculous recovery that they were not expecting. So it's kind of like a riff on Sleeping Beauty. And then the Byblo Promised Land, I also won third place for Supernatural Creatures and Being, also in the Book Fest in 2024. So that was a really fun, sort of surreal experience again. The first time I won an award, I was just like, huh, that's weird. It wasn't like, I like almost like rejected it like immediately because I'm like, oh, that can't happen to me. That was weird. But then I was like, oh, wait. I did do a lot of good work in there, and I did actually like win. So it's combating that imposter syndrome,
Yes. And then the whole bring me cheesecake, please. Yeah. I did earn this. I need cheesecake. Okay, I have a cheesecake fixation. I need to get over that. So we should say good morning to Nina and Carrie. Thank you for tuning in, honey. It's always good to have you come. Carrie is one of my favorite people.
Oh, hi, Carrie.
You're doing great things with your books and winning these awards, and you're having the Slay the Lake LGBTQ Horror Fest.
Yes.
On April 19th.
Mm-hmm.
I am having a hard time seeing this morning. It's just very dreary here, and I can't get enough light today.
Yeah.
So if you want to tell us a little bit about that too.
Yeah, so me and one of my author friends from Kenosha, Wisconsin, we're banding together and we are raising funds for the Lake County LGBTQ Center in Illinois. So we're hosting Slay the Lake. We've invited several authors. So we have Freak, Ruth Anna Evans, Mo Medusa, Mikey Cody Apollo, and a whole bunch of other authors. Like, it's going to be a day. We're going to have drink specials that are also going to go raise proceeds for that center. But really, it's a community building event. We want to make sure everyone's having a good time and also getting representation and eyes on work for people who sometimes don't always feel welcomed and loved by horror in the same way that we love it. So we really want to make sure like we have that space and that opportunity for everybody to come out, support a good cause, as well as find community and find new readers.
Well, you need to put this up on my Facebook page so everybody can find it.
All right. I will tag you in it and I will get my poster and all that good stuff up there.
Thank you. I'm always happy to support a worthy cause. And yes, put that up there. Share it.
Thank you.
I am far from Illinois. If I was closer, I would be there. I'm lucky if I get out of my town. So, yeah, I'm like legally blind, so I need a driver for most places. If I leave town, I'm doing good. I'm well within my little boundaries where I know things. So yes, we stick close to home unless one of my many, I have 5 sons. When one of the boys can drive me outside of the town limits, then I'm happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it sounds like it's going to be fabulous.
Mhm.
And I wish you all the luck in the world to do good there.
Thank you.
I do. The world needs good things, happy things where people can get together and just share the blessings.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, horror is a blessing to share.
Yes.
And
I definitely think horror is the genre of the optimist.
I think so too. Thank you. I'm always thinking to myself, I put these perky little things on my Facebook page, and I'm a horror author, and I'm thinking to myself, it's like Skittle, or what is it, Starburst. It's what a juicy contradiction or whatever. And that's kind of what horror is, We're like these perky people that write these gruesome things.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. But there you go. That's us. We're all kind of crazy. So you have to love horror. I have to ask you where this story came from, Redhorn.
So Redhorn was kind of like a reflection on some of my experiences in high school. So I was really happy when you were saying and relating back to those experiences that even you had in high school. Because I was like kind of thinking about my like high school friends as well as my experiences being within like a small town like metal community, like punk scene, and what those experiences were like, and just in general like what it's like to like have these expectations and have somebody else's idea of your future imposed upon you as you try to find out who you are and what you want to do with your future. Because once upon a time, when I first started going to school, I was going to be a nurse because that's what everyone thought I should do. And I could have done it. I like taking care of people. I like helping others. So it's not like a far-fetched like notion for me. But I don't think I would have made it. I think I would have burned out really quickly in that profession. And just thinking about like those sorts of experiences and that aspect of like discovery and being in confrontation with your identity and what the expectations are from others, that's really where I started like picking apart and trying to come up with Redhorn and really diving into that material.
Well, you did great. I mean, I could see myself sitting at the campfire. And then, of course, something goofy happens because something goofy always happened.
Yeah.
When we would get together at campfires or do something like that, something inevitably happened. It was never just a calm night.
Yeah. There's always shenanigans.
Of course. And then the cheerleader. Okay, there's always that cheerleader, Hello. And I used to laugh. I was always the bad kid. And even today, in these times, I used to get a charge out of it. I have a Mustang I call the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an old, 90s Mustang. And it makes a lot of noise. It's very, very loud.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see the little pom-pom cheerleaders go by, I always hit the gas and make them jump. I am 55 years old, and I'm still picking on the cheerleaders. I'm a terrible person. I'm a terrible person. That's why I said, yeah, I'm that mom in the school parking lot. But yeah, it cracks me up to watch them jump. I'm terrible. Forgive me. But yeah, so and she was terrible, mean, and that's just typical. I mean, that's how they were.
Yeah.
And you just nailed it. Just so you did. You just nailed high school so perfectly. At least for, our kind of people.
Yeah. And I think I hit on some really like universal experiences that we all kind of go through in high school, but the art, I mean, the mean cheerleader, the bully, and like stuff like that. I feel like we hit on those, but we don't necessarily hit on or like discuss like some of the more like intimate and close relationships that we have. Like those stories usually stay a lot more like private and guarded.
Mm-hmm.
So I really wanted to like explore like those early relationships and how we navigate them and like form lifelong bonds with some of these people. Because I am still friends with like some of the friends I went to high school with. But there are definitely people I broke off with throughout the years. So it's kind of like exploring like how relationships like come together and also how they kind of splinter and like fall apart in ways.
Yes, they do. Believe me, they do. I
Yeah.
completely get that. And the even the story with the teacher
Hmm.
from when he was a little boy and how that permanently changed him.
Yes.
I love that part of the story. You just, I mean, and the way you just interwove it and it flowed so naturally. I mean, I completely get how you won this award.
No, no, thank you.
Like I said, there were just little intricate details that you. I mean, I don't know if the casual reader might not pick up on it, but another author will see. After reading the book, I get that now.
Mhm.
You pick up these little details and you see how well they flowed through the book and became part of the whole to give you the experience
Mhm.
by the end. And you did that so well.
Thank
And
you.
again, congratulations.
Thanks.
You used it to make the whole book's just a really good experience for the reader. And I was just quite taken by it. Obviously, I'm gushing. I'm gushing. I am not worthy.
Oh, well, thank you. It really means a lot. Like I do, part of my process is I don't necessarily plan out every detail of my work. Like I don't do that sort of like plotting work. But I do have like the high notes and the high beats. And then I start thinking, I'm like, so I have like all the high notes. They're like the high scenes that I want to include. And then I'm like, all right, I'm starting at point A and I'm going to end at point Z. How do I make all this stuff make sense? Because I'll have like little mini movie moments in my head. So I like have all these like scenes that I really want to get in there, but I'm like, okay, make it make sense. How do I get here? So I start like kind of like picking apart and finding my theme early on so that way I can slowly kind of braid it throughout the novel. Um, and I guess sometimes that does like kind of put off like people who are casually reading because they're just like, you have like these really intense scenes, and then I don't know how you get here. And I'm like, please go back and read it a second time because there are hints. There are like little like pieces that like carry you on through everything. So thank you for picking up on that. I really appreciate that.
Well, like I said, the casual reader, no, I think they get the full story. I just think as another writer, you pick up on it more.
Hmm.
I mean, the casual reader will enjoy it completely. They
Hopefully.
just may not see what you're doing the way another author will. Whereas a casual reader will enjoy the story and get it,
Mhm.
but another author will see, look how well she's done that. I mean, you know what I mean? They'll be like, I love the way she got that in there without making it so obvious.
No. Well, thank you.
Like you said, braiding it. That was a good word choice because I was stumbling over my tongue trying to get this out. But yeah, braiding was a very good word. Yeah, you just braided all these pieces together and came out with something very, uh, very well done.
Thank you.
Oh, you're quite welcome. I have all these questions, and I'll be darned if I can see, even with my hair out of my eyes. What does your family think about your books?
So my mom is my biggest supporter, I would want to say. She definitely has read all my works. Whenever I'm like feeling like I don't know what I'm doing anymore, like my mom is definitely like the first person who's just like, you know what you're doing. Like where like stop that. Um So I would have to say my family is largely very supportive, and also my aunt out in Washington State, she also definitely reads a lot of my works, and is always commenting on my social media stuff and supporting me. So I'd have to say my family is very supportive of what I do.
Oh, that's fabulous. It is. I wish my parents were still around, although they'd be like, "Oh, Mary Beth, that's awful." I grew
Some
up
of my
in a
family is definitely like that, but I'm like, whatever.
I grew up in a very religious family, so I try not to let them, near my books, the ones that are still with us. It's like, yes, I write horror stories. So, my auntie prays for me though, so thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it's just so dim in here today. Um, can you share an instance where real life events inspired your writing?
Let me see. I do pull a lot from my personal life as I'm writing. I'm trying to think. Probably like that's, I want to say it was maybe like chapter 3 or 4 when like Victor really meets Cheyenne and is really pulled into like her corner for the first time. And really kind of experiences like this, like the supernatural with like the capital S supernatural experience.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would have to say at least that beginning part of the scene where Victor's feeling heartbroken by encountering like the cheerleader in the hallway and just feeling cheated on and betrayed. I would have to say that probably is pretty close to an experience I had. Um, but yeah, I have to say a lot of my work, like I like to tell it myself, I guess. So a lot of my work comes from real life experiences.
They're the best,
Yeah,
really.
you're right, but you know, right?
Yes, exactly. And I think, your work is better when a lot of writers, when they go out of their wheelhouse, you can tell.
Mhm.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Let's see. What is the most inspiring feedback you've ever received from a reader? That's a good question, Nina.
So I did receive feedback from another author who was a reader. And his name is George Adamancic. He does what is it? Lost Mind or Wandering Minds, Dark Tales. I forget his series name, but George Adamancic. And he came up to me at an event that we were both working at, and he was like, I just have to tell you, when I feel stuck or I'm feeling uninspired, I go to your short story collection Phobias and I get re-inspired. And like, no joke,
Oh,
the first time he told me that, I like almost started crying. Like, I think about him and his work and then his words like often, just because I felt like it really like is meaningful to like hear like a peer, a colleague to be like, you helped get me, like you reignite me sometimes when I'm feeling dim.
oh, wow. That is just wow. That's
Yeah.
great. I can't imagine how that would feel.
Yeah. I do like sometimes like when I hear like things like that, like my first like impulse, and I'm like, I do struggle with imposter syndrome and negative self-talk a lot. So I just have to keep reminding myself of those moments and those instances, and like it kind of helps pick me back up as well.
That's fabulous. I think that's one of the best stories I ever heard.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. um, let's see. Did you ever kill off a character that your readers were upset about? Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, other than this reader, did you ever kill off a character? Was there one that you really, really caught hell over?
Not that I'm necessarily caught hell over, but there have been ones that are very like upsetting to like for me to do. Like one time I like left it open ended about like hurting a cat, and I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I hate doing it. So that's why I had to like leave the ending more open ended so that way I could make myself feel better. I'm like, the cat made it to the bedtime and survived, you know. But I don't like doing it, but if as long as it serves the better point of the story, I'll do it. I don't know if I could ever do it to a dog though. Like I love dogs too much.
Is there anything that's taboo to you?
Hurting dogs. I'm a big dog lover. We're actually going a little bit later today to see some puppies. So I would have to say animals, like any sort of animal cruelty and stuff like that. I'm not really like into sexual violence. Hate that. Like I do not like it, especially when it's written from a perspective of somebody who has not ever talked to a survivor or have that lived experience. I think it's really like deaf to like talk about that, especially from like a male gaze perspective. I hate that. Like, do not like.
I have a thing about children.
Mhm.
Oh, when they kill
I don't like that
children in
either.
books. Oh, when they kill children in books, it's like I have to stop. I can't read any farther. I
I'm
mean,
done. Yeah.
I will stop mid-sentence and put the book down. I know, it doesn't bother some people, but for me, no, you cannot kill a child. No,
Yeah.
no. I can't even watch Titanic.
Oh, yeah.
It's just,
No,
that's
thank
one
you.
thing I can't. Nope. What is the strangest thing you've had to research for a book?
I guess I could bring up my Google search history. I'm probably on some FBI watch list. I'm not going to lie.
Aren't we all? Oh, Lord.
I've been working on another short story collection, and one of the ones and the character like story idea I've been working on developing is kind of like how you make vellum and leather products. So I've been getting really into that, as well as old tools that you use for doing that. Like if you were doing it like out in the field or in like a really old like setting, like what are the tools that you would use then versus the tools you would use now? So I've been learning a lot about tanning and making vellum, like animal skin vellum, and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm being watched.
Okay, we know who's on the FBI's most
Most delightful list.
Yeah. Now I saw this thing on TV once. Okay, and somebody needs to do a story about this. It can't be me because it's way out of my wheelhouse. But I'm always on Discovery or History or one of those channels if I'm watching TV, because anything else I think is just ridiculous. The stuff they have on TV these days. So they were talking about these crazy Nazis, and this one old Nazi guy became the doctor at what's it called? Oh, where those crazy guys escaped from the prison.
Oh, I vaguely know what you're referring to. I can't think of the word either.
Yeah. Okay. So he's the doctor in there, and they were doing these experiments on these guys to like make them stronger and things.
Mm-hmm.
And they were actually using monkeys and grinding up their testicles and inserting them into the men's testicles. And this was supposed to make them healthier and live longer.
Yeah.
And also like inserting them into their veins and shit, these ground up monkey balls. And I think this could turn into the best horror story.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I personally could not write this horror story, but I was fascinated by this, and that these idiots actually thought this would work.
Yeah.
And apparently, it didn't hurt these fellas.
It didn't help them either.
No, it didn't help them, but it didn't hurt them. But these guys were going around with, monkey ball meat in their sack and all this other craziness. So, yeah, I think that could turn into a really bizarre horror story.
Oh, for sure.
And I really wish somebody would write it. Like I said, it's not going to be me, but somebody needs to.
Yeah.
So, hello, anybody out there in the horror world listening, you need to write this story.
Yeah.
Please write it for me, because I would love to read it. So about, like, I don't know, maybe some guy who's still like walking around
or something.
Yeah. This could be a fascinating story. What became of these monkey men? Are they still monkey ball men or whatever? Are they still walking around today? Did they have superpowers? Yeah, like the Teflon balls of the monkey men. I don't know. Just did they become hairy apes? Are they Bigfoot now? Okay, is this where Bigfoot came from?
I think we have finally bridged the gap.
Yes, exactly. You know, who knows what this could turn into? Okay, now let's get off the monkey ball story. Okay, have another question or two here that we have time for. Geez, I just go out there sometimes. Okay, is there a message? Is there a message in your novel that you want readers to grasp?
Then it's okay to ask for help, and that you're definitely not alone no matter what you're going through. There's always somebody out there who might not necessarily understand exactly what's happening, but there are people out there who you can talk to, and you just kind of have to have hope and not let it go, and that you will find the people that you're meant to find.
I like that you said that. You had the hotline number in your book. I noticed. I have put that in some of my poetry books as well,
Mm-hmm.
so that people know. Because some of my poetry is very dark.
Yeah.
So that people know there are ways you can contact people, and that there is help to be had. And I like that you put that in your book.
Yeah, because I mean, I do delve with like some like really like dark moments inside of Victor's life, where like he feels absolutely distraught and hopeless and like despondent, and talk about it very darkly in a way that I feel resonates with a lot of people. But I do also want to take a moment and remind people that even if you do feel like that in that moment, it's just a moment and it will pass. And if you're struggling with it, there are resources available for you. Like, you don't have to live like that.
I think that's a responsible thing to do when you write such dark things like we do, to let people know that a lot of my poetry books, at the end, I try and write more positive poems.
Mhm.
Like they start dark but end better in the final chapters. So I always feel like I should do that, to kind of let people know that, hey, yes, life is dark, but there's always better. You should always look for the better. And I think that's kind of a responsible thing to put in there, ways you can get help.
Mhm.
Because we've all been there, and we've all skated that edge. I think a lot of people have, maybe not everybody. Some people have the perfect happy life, but not everybody does. And you want to help people where you can help people.
Yeah.
So anyway, yes, I'd like that you put that there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's try one more, and then we're gonna have to say our bye-byes.
Okay.
Let's see. Love you, Beth Hldenbrand. You're a hot mess. I love you too, my Nina. What's Carrie say? Beth, I was in the kitchen, so I didn't hear everything about monkey balls. Send me the info into the research. I'll look into it. I'm weird. Okay, Carrie, I'm going to do that because somebody needs to write the monkey ball book. Thank you. Oh, geez. Okay. What advice would you give to aspiring writers? Yes, that's a good one to end the show.
Don't give up. You have a story in you that needs to be told, so don't give up. Like, even if you're met with like some pushback or people, or you're getting rejection, you're in the right room by receiving rejection. You're at least getting it in front of people to see it. And these people can help you find to where like you can do your story. And self-publishing, like, I love being a self-published author. I think it's fantastic. It allows me probably the most control over my career that I can have. I've done a lot of trial and error to get to where I am right now. But don't give up. There are people and like peers out in the field that want to help you and want to see you succeed. So if you ever feel like you need a little bit of extra support, definitely reach out to me or to people that you aspire to be like, because they want to see you succeed. We're not competitors. We're all community with each other. So you doing well uplifts us all.
Excellent advice. Excellent advice. I believe in that wholeheartedly. That's why I do this show. Anything I can do to help, I'm happy to do. Carrie would like you to send her a friend request.
I will send you a friend request, Carrie.
She is the sweetest lady in the whole world. You will love her to pieces. So I am going to say, if you will stay a few minutes after the show, that would be great. And thank you so much for being on the show. You are just a joy.
Oh, and thank you. It was wonderful being here.
I am so glad that we got to share this special day with you today.
Thank you. I'm so glad you're here.
And I hope we get to hear more from you in the future. You'll have to come back again sometime. This was just, such a good show. Thank you. I'm just so happy for you. It's like I won the dang prize myself. I just get so happy for people. I'd love to see anybody do well. Oh, honey, I'm just so happy for you.
Thanks.
So we are going to say goodbye for today. Thank you all for tuning in. And if you missed the show, you can catch it on the YouTube channel. Booked Up with Beth. That would be me. So thank you, honey, for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. And I will see you next week. Bye, Carrie. And everybody have a great weekend. Bye. Love you. Bye.